So this class is just a support system. This is a support system. You have access to the course materials. You go through the recorded video at your own leisure time. So after going through those recorded video at your own leisure time, then every Friday, we are here to have fun, ask questions, make the class more lively. So today again, we are supposed to have some kind of, I asked about certificate. Gina, please message me. I've been following up on the team. On the team, they are not answering me. I've been very, very busy. So we are here waiting for your action. No problem, no problem. So please remind me again. If you've been asking for the certificate, remind me again. Please, if you are not done with the video, don't ask me for the certificate. I think I've issued out 3 or 4 certificates to some people that are done with the video. If you are done with the video, do something, create a Firebot table with a chart, screenshot it and send it to me. So that is when I will know that, okay, you are done with the video. You've watched it up to Firebot. So create something like that, send me a screenshot of what you create. Then I will try as much as possible to push out the the graphic designing that is doing the certificate to work on the certificate and give you the certificate. I'm not doing anything with the certificate. But if you are not done with the video, please don't ask me for certificate. I beg. Big no. So no, if you are, I don't know. How do you beg in Hausa? In Igbo, I know it's Bikono. I don't know for Calabar. Please, I beg you. Thank you very much. So let's quickly move on to let's move on to Excel. Let's move on to Excel. Like I always say, Excel is my life. Excel is my life. So I just love Excel. Normally, I just love Excel. I think I downloaded this data set. Let me see. Let me see this data set. For those of you that has been having issue with data set, cancel. Data set, downloading different type of data sets. Let me quickly attend to that because a lot of people has been disturbing me for data set. Let me quickly attend to that. What am I doing here? What is all this? Finish. I just have one rubbish data set that doesn't make any sense. Oh, yes, let's do a little bit of data cleaning here. Let's do a little bit of data splitting. You can see all these data, they are all together. Don't mind me. I use this thing for class, so we have to clean this data again and split it. So that is an addition to those of you that are here today. So I'm going to show you how to split data sets today. So I gave this as a project to my physical students to clean and split the data set and stuff like that. So let's do it here today. Let's see how it works. But before going into that, let me quickly show you how to get data sets. I've been kind of very, very busy lately. So busy, like so busy. So if you want to download data, it's kind of very, very easy. Whatever data you want to download, just go to your Chrome browser or something. Search for Google data sets. Are you with me? Are we still together? How many people are with me? We have 51 people here. How many of you are still with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Yes, no, yes. William, Okay, Nengi. Okay, nice one. So I said she go to Google Datasets, right? From Google Datasets, just click on Gina, please remind me later. Please. Ombolola, nice meeting you. Now, once you get to Google Datasets, click on the datasets, the first one. So all you just have to do is, let's say I want to analyze sales reports. So I can come here and type sales dataset. So I think I've shown you something like this before. I can download sales data. So you see, I have this one. So basically, it's very, very easy to download dataset from Kaggle than what's the name of this place again? If you're downloading data from Kaggle, is fine. Statista also. Statista, I think you have to pay for Statista to download the datasets. To download the dataset, they deal majorly with analysis and stuff like that. But I think you have to pay them to download datasets. So, but basically, most of the places we have to download data is from Kaggle. Most of the places that I download my datasets, they are from Kaggle. Kaggle, then I downloaded some from YouTube also. But let's say I want to download this product sales, right? This product sales. I can just click on product sales, click on Kaggle, this Kaggle. So I have product sales data from Kaggle. So I can download this data set. Say total units of, I think I have this data set before. I have this data set. I don't want to download it again. Let me pick the second one. So let's say this one, economic, sales data for economic data analysis. So let's download it. So it's not everything. This is 3 MB. Yes. Be preparing for a long list of data. So it's, you have year, the column represents year of transaction. We have month, we have customers' age. Well, I think I love this data set. Customers' gender, country, state, products, category, subcategory, quality, quantity, unit cost, unit price, cost, revenue. So these are what you have to do. So you have to read the description so you'll know, right? So let me download this data set. Let's say 3 MB, right? Let's see if I downloaded it right. So I just wasted another 3 MB. Let's go to download. I'll go to my download. If you are not understanding it, let me know. Please let me know. Are we still on the same page? Yes or no? Are we still on the same page? We don't have much time. We don't have much time. Are we still on the same page? Okay. So what we have to do is extract this one. You know I downloaded this twice, right? So we are going to extract one. So I'm going to delete 17, 18, 17, 18. Let me delete 18. 18 is older than 17, right? So let's leave 18 and delete 17. So let's delete 17. So right here, I'm going to extract the file. I'll extract file. I'll right click, extract file. Then I'll click on OK. So it's going to extract the file for me. So if I open it, I have 2 data sets right here. So let me open the first one. I'm coming back to this data set for splitting. I'm coming back to it. Some of you, whenever you are downloading data from PDF, stuff like that, you make use of Power Query. You make use of Power Query. This data is not open. We are actually waiting for it. Someone said, you are totally lost, although you just joined the class. Yes. Now, this is actually a good data set, right? Don't worry, the recorded version will be made available. Now, you can see this type of data sets, right? But I think I will give my students to analyze this data sets. So now, this type of data set, there's an issue with this data set, a big issue with this data set, which deal with all these dates. So Excel does not, now this is one of the major issues you come across in Excel. Date issue. Excel does not recognize this date. Let me show you something. You can see some are at the right, while some of the dates are at the left, right? We have some dates at the right, some at the left, right? And you feel like I'm coming. Let me just hide this floating bar so it doesn't disturb me. Yeah. Yes, now you notice this, right? You actually notice it. The very first thing you have to check whenever you are dealing with data is some errors. Right here, if you notice this, your date is supposed to be at the right, not at the left. You see that this one is in general, this one is date. If you look at this here, if you look at it up here, let me bringing this out again can be frustrating. So if you look up here in this field that I draw something on, right here, if you look here, you'll see that some, just watch. So let me clear it. You see that right here, you have some dates at the left. This one, they are at the left. But this one, we have them at the right, right? They are at the right. So which means Excel does not really recognize this. So in as much as Excel does not recognize this, so what we do is we don't really analyze by days. Our analysis usually deals on months, right? Now that we have the month right here, we can use the month to analyze it. This is actually a very long data set. We have about 34,868 data sets, right? So maybe we should just do one or two on this data set. So what the very first thing that I'll do is I'll delete this date because I don't want to stress myself on this date. But in case you want to actually do something on the dates, right? On this date. So what we can do is we can go to data. So if you go to data, you come here, we have text to column. I think I've shown you before, but it's not every time it works. Whenever you have issues with dates like this, it normally gives issues because it's come directly from the back end. So Excel does not recognize it. And for you to convert it to dates can be frustrating sometimes. So most of the time, I just delete that column, extract the year, extract the month, and I delete it. So what I'll do right here is, after clicking on text to column, I will choose delimited, right? Because I have delimiter. So I'm not actually separating it. I'm not splitting it. We are still coming back here. Do you remember that first data that I showed you that we want to split? We are still coming back here. So is row same as data set? What do you mean? I don't understand you. Row is different, data set is different. So I'll click on next. So right here in this column, I'm going to change it to date. So let me see if Excel will recognize it. Then I'll click on finish. You see the same thing, Excel does not still recognize it. So if I highlight it and go to home, then I'll come here. I can click on, I want to change it to date. Still, Excel does not recognize it. So there's an issue with the backend developer for this data set. So for this type of data sets, you said there are over 30,000. Sorry. Row. That is what I mean, not data set. I made a mistake. So there are more than 30,000 data rows that we have to analyze here. So what I'll just do here is, all I just have to do is delete this data set. I don't actually need it because the dates, I can't believe this. So Control up arrow will take me to the first cell. So what I'll do is I'll delete this date. Actually, also, I don't need this index, so I can delete the index. It doesn't matter. I don't need it. I don't need it. So I have the year, the month, the age, gender, the country, the state, right? We are going to use count ifs to get some things out. So we have the product category, right? We have the product categories, the subcategory, the quantity, the unit cost, the unit price, the cost, the revenue, right? The cost, the revenue. So this column one is actually nonsense. There's nothing there. We don't need it. So right here, we can. So I'm going to make this column, these two columns, I'm going to change it to currency. So it's going to be in the currency. So this one and this one, Control Shift down arrow, I'm going to clear it up for you because they've actually done it for you. They've done the calculation for you. Control up arrow. They've done the calculation for you here. If you look at it, we have your cost and units and revenue. Cost is we have unit cost. If you remember, for those of you that joined me on Wednesday, permit me to quickly pick this call. I'm very sorry. Let me just tell the person that I'm in class. There's nobody here to help me pick it. Okay, the person is just flashing. The person don't get time. Now, if you remember the data set, let me see if I can show you again. The data sets. Let me see. Open. I'm looking for one data set like that. Statistical formula, yes. So if you see this data set, it's kind of very similar. It's kind of very, very similar, right? So right here, we have, now this unit cost is the cost price, and this is the selling price. So I'm going to change this to be more so that people can understand it. So for you, you are analyzing the data, right? So you have to make it, so the purpose of an analyst is to make the data more understandable for a layman to be able to see it. So they might not understand what you mean by unit cost, right? So though we are not going deep into data analytics, so they might not understand what they mean by unit cost, right? So we will just do cost price right here. So cost price, right? This will be the selling price. This will be the selling price. And this cost, instead of cost, I will call it total cost price. Total cost price. Let me just call it TCP, just like TCP, just like I call it. Revenue is the total selling price, which is what we have here, total selling price. So I'll just delete revenue, or you can leave it as revenue. Revenue is income, right? So you can leave it as revenue. And you can see right here, we have your cost price, you have your selling price. You can see that right here, we have quantity one. Quantity is just one. So if one quantity, we have 1 multiplied by 80, right? It's if you are producing, I'm coming. So I'm going, they actually do 2 data sets. So maybe I'll just give you the data set to practice. I might drop the data set in the group so that you can use it to practice also. So right here, we have your cost, your quantity. What is the quantity? We have just one quantity. So if someone comes and order ordinary one, so this flash, right? This flash drive, we are selling it at $80. So one is $80. We buy it at the rate of $80 and we are selling it at the rate of $109. So we are not going to do basic calculation here because I believe, how many of you would like us to calculate the total cost price and total sell and the revenue? It has already been calculated, but how many of us we still like me to calculate it? If you know that you want me to calculate this, just let me know. Why not in Naira? Oh, you can change it now. You can change it. You can change it. So I highlight this. I'll come here, click on this tab, then I'll come to accounting or to currency. So right here is going to show it. So let me come to accounting, then I can come here and change this to Naira. So let me use Igbo. So I'll click on OK, then I have it in Naira. So someone said I should calculate it, right? Control Shift down arrow. So I'm going to clear this content. So right here, I'm going to say equals to total cost price. If one is costing $80, 80 Naira, right? For those of you that are in Nigeria, some people are not in Nigeria. We have Ghanaians here too. But just bear with me. So it costs 80 Naira, right? So if it costs 80 Naira, how many and I just come to you that I want to buy it. So how much will it cost you to buy from your supplier? It costs you 18 naira. So you are buying one for me so that you can sell it for me, right? So if you are buying one for me, one is 80 naira. So it's going to cost you 80 naira to buy it. So I'm going to say equals to quantity one, right? One, that is the quantity multiplied by cost price. Then I press enter. So I have 18 naira. So I can copy this down and Excel will do all others for me. The same thing with revenue. So I say equals to selling price, right? You are buying it at the rate of 109 naira, right? So it cost me 80 naira to produce, to buy or to produce, and I'm selling it for you at the rate of 109 naira. So 109 multiply by quantity. So I press enter, I have 109. Then I can copy this down, right? So now let's move to the count ifs that count if. Let's start with count if and count ifs that someone asked question about. So let's quickly talk about that. The very first thing is, let's say how many, we have product categories, right? And we have subcategory. So let's start with categories. Let's get all the categories out first. So we have this unique, we have this formula called unique. So permit me to do it on a new sheet because I don't like to have a long list of data in one sheet. So it's going to work perfectly if you do it on the same sheet or on another sheet. It's going to work perfectly. So I have this formula. So I want to get out all the product categories. So for those of you that don't have unique formula, you can do it like this. You can copy this. Once you copy it, you come here, you paste it here, right? After pasting it out, all you just have to do is go to data. So after you get to data, you click on remove duplicates. Remove duplicates. So I'm going to click on remove duplicates, then I'll click on OK. So it's going to remove duplicate for me, which means we have only 3 categories. So it can be accessories, it can be clothing, and it can be bikes. So all the products we are selling, all these products, where are they? So, okay, they don't have products, they have their category. So let's say these are the products, these are their category. So I'm going to change this to products so that we make it more understandable. So these are the products. These are the products. So all these categories, all these products we are selling, tires and tube, glove, helmets, and the likes, all these products that we are selling, they can either fall under accessories or clothing or bike. So now let's say I want to count the total number of, now I'm not, how many times does people order these products? I want to get, we are not adding the total orders for each of these products. But what we want to do is, how many times does people order these products? How many times, right? How many times does people order the product in this category? How many times, right? Number of appearance. That is what we want to do. So we want to count the total number of times that this accessory, clothing, and bike, number of appearance, the total number of times they appear. That is what we want to count. So we're going to say number NO, number of appearance, number of appearance. So now, number of appearance. Can you still hear me? Yes or no? How many people are lost? Are you lost? Are you lost? Are you still with me? Okay. Okay, now we want to use this formula called count if. Count if. So we are going to say equals to count. Let me zoom it in so that you can see it very well. So we are going to say equals to count if. Now, yes. Let me show you another way. For those of you that are using the latest version of Microsoft Office. So I'm going to clear this content. I'm going to clear this content. And I'm going to come here. I'm going to say, I'm going to use a formula to bring all of them out. Instead of me removing duplicate, I'm going to use a formula to bring them out. So I'm going to say equals to unique. So if you don't want to use remove duplicate, you can use unique, right? Unique value. So you just come here and select the product category, everything. Then I'll close my bracket. So what this will do for me is going to bring out all the unique items for me. So you can see it now put them in the category. We have accessories, clothing, and bike. Then we have zero also. So what I'll have to do is remove this from the formula. So I'm going to copy this and paste this as a value. So it's going to remove the formula. Then right here, I'm going to delete this zero. Do you get it? This is another way. So if you are using 2021 version and above, you are going to get the unique value. You are going to get the unique formula. But if you are not using 2021, let's say you are using 2019, 2016, 2010, 2013, you are not going to get unique value. There's no unique value for you guys. So you can use remove duplicates, right? So what I'll do right here is I'll come here now. I'll say equals to count if, right? Count if, which range? The product category. So in this product category, that is, I'll select, I'm telling you example, in this product category, right? How many, in that product category, comma, sorry, I made a mistake. I'll say equals to count if, so I'll come here to this place. In this product category, right? I'm selecting this product category, comma, then go to this sheet. How many accessories can you see there? That is in that product category. That is the range. How many accessories can you see there? That is count. Then I'll close my bracket and press enter. So right now I have 22,534 numbers that accessory appear. So if I to copy this down, so you can see this one appears 5,000 times, this one appears 7,000 times. So the product category that appears the most is this one. We have this, we have this one is the accessory with 22,534 number of appearance. Do we get that? Okay, I should repeat the count if, okay. I'm going to highlight, then clear content. So I'll say equals to count if in this range, in this product category, you know, I now move to this sheet where the product category is. So if you have it in the same sheet, then you can also do it. You don't have to be moving around if you have it in the same sheet. But the reason I'm moving one place to another is because I have it in another sheet. So in this range, comma, how many accessories did I have? How many accessories? That is within that range, how many accessories did I have? So I'll close my bracket and press enter. So then if I, now because I select this, I can now copy this down to get it, to get all of that. So what I can now do is, if I press Alt and equals to for AutoSum, it's going to give me everything. Right now we have 34,866, which means some doesn't have any category. Some does not have any category right here. If we scroll down, we have some that doesn't have categories that are zero. Right, because okay, we have 34,867. So I think we are correct. All of them have category. All products have categories. So 866. So which means there is one that doesn't have category. So let's check that one. Let's check the one that doesn't have categories. Let's say country down arrow. So you can see there's one particular cell that contains a value that doesn't have category. If I'm to scroll to this point, I think I've deleted one, but it actually picked one that doesn't have category. That's why I have 868, but the normal thing is 866, right? 866. So which means there is actually one that doesn't fall into that category. So I think, okay, yeah. It's 866, sorry. This first row is not part of it. So if we remove the first row, it becomes 866, right? It's because of this first row, that's why we have 867. So right here, which means this is correct. Have we lost or we get, did we get this? Before I move to that splitting, did we get count E? Get it, okay, nice. I believe we should not have any question on count. Sorry, I'm just joining. Okay, no problem. You get the replay. Okay, now let's move ahead to that splitting. To splitting the cell, just like I've explained. Let's move ahead to that splitting cell. So let's come here to split this particular cell. So we want to split this, right? We want to split this. Everything is inside column A. So if you look at it, everything that we have here, they are all inside column A. So we have to split it. And if you look at this, if you look at the data very well, if you look at this data very well, we have something that separates each of the column, each of the cell. We have order ID, comma, customer name, comma, category, comma, subcategory, comma, city, comma, order date, comma, region, comma, sales, comma, discount, comma, and profits, comma, then state again. Okay, we have state, right? So we have comma that separates them, right? So we have something called delimiter. Delimiter is the tool or the icon that you use to separate one word from another, right? That is what we'll use to separate our cell. So I will go to data, then I will come to text column. So delimited, I will click on next. So I want to split by comma. So you can see it's going to split everything out for me right here. So it's going to split everything out for me. So now what I can do is to choose the data type. So I can go to next. If I click on next, then the order ID, I will leave it in general. This general. So the one that I normally have issue with, that we always have issue with, is this date. So let's check if we can change this to date. We will change it to date. Right? This sales is in is number. So I'll leave it in general. Discount, all other ones are all correct. So all I just have to do is click on finish. So if I click on finish, it's going to actually split it out for me like this. It's going to split it out for me like this. So yes, you see, it recognizes this as the dates now, the region, the sales, the discounts, the profits, and the states, right? So it's going to split it out for me, just like that. Any question on this splitting? I know a lot of people will not understand, but let me know if you understand or you do not understand. Before I move to the last question that the other person asked, which is sequence. So before I move to, okay, I should do it again, right? Yes. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. So what someone said, what about without comma? Assuming there is a data that comes out without comma, right? If it comes out without comma, then there should be a space that you can use to use as a delimiter, or there should be, if there are no space, they will use tab. There must be something that will separate one from another. right? That is what you use as your delimiter. That is what you have to check first. So let's say they did not use comma here, they will use space to separate order ID from customer ID, right? So that is what you use. But in that case, we have something called, we normally do it in Power Query, but we can also do it here in Excel, right? So you always have something that you use as a delimiter. If they don't use comma, they will use slash. If they don't use slash, whatever they use, there's, so let's go to data, right? Let's go to text column, right? All you have to do is click on next, right? So now if they don't use tab to separate it, they will use semicolon or comma or space. And there are others. So you can specify whatever they use to separate it right there. So if it doesn't have comma, let's say they use hyphen to separate it, you just click on this order and right there you put the hyphen. So they will use that. If it is slash, whatever thing they use to separate it, you have them right here. So you can use it to separate all of them. I hope that is correct. And you check your data type, especially when you have dates. So when you have dates, you make sure that your date column, so where you have dates, so right here where I have order dates, so I'll make sure that I put it to dates, right? I change it to date so that Excel can understand it. So I'll change it to date, then click on finish, and Excel will automatically do it for me. Do you have question on this before I move to the sequence? Do you have question on this before I move to the sequence? If nobody's saying anything, I'll assume there is no question, then I'll move ahead to sequence. Someone is asking that, how did you merge all the data before splitting? That is how the data set come. I did not merge all the data. I did not merge all the data. That's how the data comes. So I have to split it so that I'll be able to work on it. Someone is calling my name. What function did you just finish, Mr. Akim? I did count if, and now this is splitting. Okay, I'm going to repeat it once again. Then I will send you the replay of today's class. So Ctrl Z to redo it once again. So you highlight from home, you go to data, you go to text column. From text column, now you know what you use as a delimiter, which is comma. So you click on next. So right here, you just choose your delimiter, comma. If it is semicolon that you use, you choose semicolon. If it is space, you choose space. If it is not space, let's say they have like hyphen, any other thing they use, you can just choose it here. So once you choose order, then you put the thing they use right there. So you click on next. So every other thing, you make sure that they are in general. If it is number, you put it in general, right? Every other thing, you make sure that they are in general. So the last, if it is date now, your date, that is what you can that is what you should put more into consideration. So your date, you change it to date so that Excel can understand that, okay, this is a date. So then you can click on finish, then Excel will automatically do it for you. So now to the last question that the last person asked, that someone asked, to the last question that someone asked. So let's quickly talk about sequence. So we use sequence to write out a serial number, or if you want to generate even number, odd number, you can use sequence to do that. At interview and comma and space, at interview and comma and space, you pass this question to split. If this split on comma, so if you have comma and space, then the comma will automatically be used. The comma will be automatically be used because right here, you can have two texts. So like right this subcategory, you have space, right? And if you remember, we use comma to split. So we have space here. You can't use space right here. You have like other ID, we have space. So there's nothing to split it here. So you use comma right here. So please, why is the tab button? I tab button highlighted also. Tab button, I don't understand your question. When we get, I'm going to answer your question now. Let me quickly do the sequence. So we use sequence to write out numbers. Let's say I want to write the serial number from 1 to 10. Serial number from 1 to 10. Serial number from 1 to 10. I can use sequence. So I'll just say equals to sequence, right? Sequence, how many rows? Let's say I need it to give me 10 rows. That's all. Then you close your brackets and press enter. So it's going to write out numbers in the rows. What if you want to write it in a column? What if you want to write it in a column, 1 to 10 in a column? So you want it to be vertical. I think this is horizontal, right? So you want it to be like this, right? So what you can do is you can say you need sequence, right? Equals to sequence. How many rows? I need just 1 rows, right? And how many columns? Let's take 10 columns. So I'll close my bracket and press enter. So it's going to fill it up like this. We have this in a column. So it's going to write it in 10 columns for you. So if you need 100 columns, you can just fill it out. So it's going to write it from 1 to 100 for you. Are we still following? Do we get something? Do we understand that? Do we understand that sequence? Because I want to move to even number and odd number before. Okay. Now the last one that I want to talk about before I allow you to talk is I won't be able to do the question that thing that we did the last 2 weeks. Whereby I give you classwork to do. I won't be able to do that today because number one, I'm tired. I'm stressed out. I just got in. I need to relax a little bit. But I did not even relax at all. I just started class. So I need to relax a little bit. So probably next week, we will continue with that. So let's say let's say I want to get even number, right? I want to get even number. So I say equals to sequence, right? Sequence, how many rows? Let's say I want to get 10 rows. How many columns? In 1 column, right? It should start with 2 and the step should be 1. So that is, after it writes 2, there is, instead of it to move to 3, then it's going to add 1 to it, then it's going to be 4. Let's see if this is right. Let's press enter. No, it's not right. It's supposed to be 2, right? Because we are looking for even number. So equals to sequence, right? We need 10 rows, 1 column. It should start with 2, then the step should be in 2, 2. So after writing 2, it's going to plus 2 to it, so we give us 4. Then it's going to plus 2 to it, it's going to give us 6. So I've closed the bracket and press enter. So it's going to give us 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. So we have this as a sequence. So the same thing if you want odd number, so you are going to say equals to sequence, right? We need, let's say just 5 rows, okay. We need 5 rows, 1 column, right? To start with 1, then the step should be in 2. So it's going to start with 1, 3, 5, and the like. So I press enter. So it's going to give us 1. So after writing 1, since the step is in 2, 2, we start from 1. 1 plus 2 will give us 3. 3 plus 2 will give us 5. 5 plus 2 will give us 7. And 7 plus 2 will give us 9. Right? What if you need 10, 10, 10, 10, 20, 30, 40. So you are going to say equals to sequence, right? Sequence. I need 1 row. I need, let's say, 5 rows. 5 rows is okay. It should start with, it should just give us 1 column. It should start with 10. Then after I try 10, it should add extra 10. So if you want to write 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, you can do something that you start with 5. After 5, it should add extra 5. So it should give you 5 steps. Right? But now let's say I need 10 steps. So it's going to do 10 steps, then I'll close the bracket and press enter. So it's going to do a 10, 20, 30, 40, and the likes. Right? So who can try 100? So let me just do that one. So then I'll take I'll take 2 questions, then we'll call it a day. I'm sorry today, I'm kind of very tired now. So are we there? Are we there? Are we there? Who can try? Who can try? Who can try? Let's say I need, okay, Oluwayemi, please unmute. Oluwayemi. So we need 100.
Okay. Because
Your network is actually breaking, but I'll try. Equals to sequence.
yeah, equals to sequence.
Yes, sequence.
Then open bracket.
Let's say we just need 10
numbers.
10 rows.
Okay. Okay.
10 rows.
Column.
The column is how many?
1.
If you write it in 1 column, and the step should you should start with what?
100.
You start with 100, and the step should be 100 also. So I'll close my bracket and press enter. It's going to write 100, 100, 300, 400, 500 to 900. So raise your hand if you have a question now. Raise your hand if you have a question so that I can answer your question. Raise your hand if you have a question so that I can answer your question now. Before we call it a day, please raise your hand if you have a question so that I can answer your question before we call it a day. Okay, Mr. James. Mr. James, please unmute.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you very much for the lecture. But I want to find out whether this is a continuation of that last Wednesday lecture.
Wednesday? This,
yes,
this is just
you taught us on Wednesday.
Yes, I taught you on Wednesday. This is just a support system. You go through the recorded videos that has been sent to you, right? Through all the recorded video that has been sent to you, and whenever you have questions, you bring it to the support system to answer. So this is just the support system that I mentioned on that I mentioned on what day? On Wednesday for you. So this is to answer questions. If you notice, basically what I'm doing is answering questions of the people that has asked me questions during the weeks. I'm just answering their questions.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. So is that all? Someone said I should explain markup. Not today. Probably in our next class, I'm going to explain markup on that one. Any other question? Any question? Any question? So I guess nobody has any question, right? Someone said